him and just a little bit of time we've had together. But as far as giving him advice, I mean, I haven't spoken to him a ton as of yet, but it would really just be to keep your head down and keep going. You know, I think obviously as his name gets out there more and more, there's going to be a lot of hype around him. But the most important thing is that, you know, he just keeps doing what he's doing and don't buy into, you know, all the hype, because in everybody's career, there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. And right now he's obviously at a high and, you know, he's doing great. So there's no reason why he should, you know, change his mentality or anything. Just keep doing what he's doing, and he's gonna have a great career.
Next will be Avi Creditor from Sports Illustrated.
Thanks, Michael. Hey, DeAndre. I believe you played in Mexico. Played against Mexico like 7 times, I think, against them in different competitions, different types of intensities. I guess, what have you learned about the rivalry in your time, and how has your perspective of playing in it kind of changed? Like, do you recall what it was like in 2014 in your first game, and is there any way to kind of relay that experience to some of the guys who are about to experience it for the first time?
Yeah, I think the main thing when it comes to the U.S.-Mexico games especially is the fact that it's just a dogfight. You know, obviously they're our main rivals. So, you know, there's always going to be that bit of motivation and whatever you want to call it around that. But it's also the fact that, you know, we're both very good teams. So it's always a fight. It's never the prettiest game, I would say, but it is usually quite entertaining game. So we're looking forward to it. I think, you know, we have a good team to be able to match up with them, and hopefully we can get 3 points on Friday.
Next will be Ron Blum from the Associated Press.
Hi, DeAndre. You of the group have longest commute. What has it been like making these journeys from Turkey in 2 months? And how's it been living over there? How's it been different for you in Newcastle?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, one of the things that, you know, especially in the past couple of years that I've really tried to focus on is just learning about different cultures and different things like that. So to be able to move over there and experience a complete different culture than what I'm used to has been amazing. You know, not just for me as a football player, but for me as a person. The Turkish league has surprised me a bit with the quality that's there. I think there's some very good players there. So that's been great as well, being able to challenge myself against them. And then obviously being at Galatasaray, being able to play in Europa League this year, you know, hopefully Champions League in the coming years has been great as well. So it's definitely been a challenge, but it's been a really good challenge for me.
Next will be Mike Waitala from Soccer America.
Thanks, DeAndre. A lot of talk. There's been a lot of talk about the fan support, especially with this game. And my question to you is, as a player, how different is it for you when you're on the field in front of a crowd that is mainly supporting your team compared to when you're playing in front of a crowd that's supporting the opponent? And how much of an effect do you think crowd support, fan support in the stadium can actually have on the result of a game?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I'd love to sit here and tell you that, you know, the crowd doesn't matter at all. And, you know, as a professional athlete, you just go out there and can focus directly in on, you know, just playing the game. But, you know, the crowd does matter. And that's why, you know, so often that's why it's called a home field advantage, is because normally you're going to have a home crowd and they're going to be, you know, loud against your opponents and talking against your opponents, and they're going to be for you. So the support matters massively. And, you know, we're excited that it will hopefully be a very pro US crowd here in Cincinnati, and we're looking forward to it. And, you know, like I said, hopefully they can make it difficult, you know, on Mexico.
Next will be Ryan Talmadge from Goal.com.
Hey, DeAndre, you know, obviously you've got guys on this team that have had a taste of playing against Mexico, but not many who've played Mexico in a World Cup qualifier. And obviously it's just one of, 14 games that you guys are going to have to go through, and 3 points in this game mean the same as 3 points against Jamaica. But what makes a World Cup qualifier against Mexico different? And what is the sort of things that you kind of want these guys to understand and appreciate kind of going into this game?
Yeah, I mean, as I touched on before, it's our main rival. So that's obviously one thing. You always want to win against your rival. Two, it's a home game, so you're always going to want to win against your rival at home. And three, as you stated, it's a World Cup qualifier, and against Mexico, who's right now at the top of the group, anytime you can take points from them and move closer to being at the top of the group is huge. And we know that this is an important game. I don't think it's any secret. I think people would probably put us in Mexico as the two teams battling for first place in CONCACAF. Probably add Canada in there as well. But obviously with CONCACAF, there's many good teams and many different turnouts of different games. But with Mexico, it's always important to try to take points away from them because they are a very good team, and they can be very dangerous.
Next would be Ivis Galarcep from SBI Soccer.
DeAndre, I wanted to ask you about the atmosphere. Obviously, you've played in settings where it's been very pro Mexico crowd. Now the crowd on Fridays is going to be pro US. How much does that affect you as a player, just having that support of the home team and not dealing with that kind of away fan pressure? And a separate topic, the pressing of this group, the defensive pressure that you guys can put on teams. How have you seen that evolve over the time that Greg's been the coach? It seems like there's more and more of an emphasis on you guys collectively pressing and being able to just kind of smother teams and work on that. How have you seen that kind of evolve and improve over the years?
Yeah. So for the first question, I mean, having a home crowd is huge. As I stated before, it's very important. When the crowd's on your side and cheering you along, sometimes you just need that extra kick in the, I don't want to say a swear word, but extra kick in the butt, to keep pushing. And that's what the crowds help you do. So that's what, we're hoping we'll see from the crowd on Friday. And then as far as the second question goes, what was the second question again?
As far as you guys pressing defensively and how that's improved and changed.
Sorry. No, it's defensive pressure is not an easy thing to teach, especially when you don't have a group for a whole year. It's not a club team; it's a national team. So we're together for 10 days at a time, really, or 2 weeks at a time. But you can see it getting better and better. And I think the huge emphasis with our team is we want to be on the ball, and obviously to be on the ball, you have to keep it. But when you do lose it, you want to win it back as quick as possible. So that's kind of the emphasis that we put on defensive pressure there. And I think it's easy to argue that most people would probably play worse when there's pressure on them than when there's not pressure on them. So that's we try to make it hard for teams to play. That's the main focus.
We'll go to Sam Stejskal.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks, DeAndre, for taking the time. Hope you're doing well today. Mexico obviously has some talented wingers on their roster. I'm curious what you see from Tecatito and Chucky Lozano in terms of their abilities and what the plan is to stop them. And then just a second quick follow-up for you. This is the last qualifier most likely against Mexico at home in this World Cup format. The next one, auto qualifier for both most likely. And after that, more teams in the competition. Do you have any thoughts about that? Just kind of closing this chapter in the rivalry?
To be honest, not really. I mean, really the only thought of is just to win at home and against a very good team. That's the main thing. But to your first question, their wingers, I mean, they have dangerous players all over the field. We know that, and that's why they're a great team. But I mean, we want to play our game and be on the ball. We can talk about their wingers and this and that, but we have great players as well that can be very dangerous. So I don't think it's anything that we haven't faced before. You know what I mean? But we do know we have to be cautious with them and try to keep them at bay.
That will be it for DeAndre, who I should mention is the most capped player on this US MNT roster with 69 international appearances. Thanks to DeAndre, and we'll be right back with Yunus Musah.
Appreciate it.
Recording stopped.
Men's national team midfielder Yunus Musah, one
Recording
of
in
11
progress.
full nationals on this roster to face Mexico and Jamaica. If you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand. Also, si tú quiere, Yunus puede contestar en español. We will begin with Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Thank you, Michael. Yunus, thank you for the time. You were there for the Nations League final, and I'm sure you've heard lots of stories from your teammates about what this game is like for the players, for the fans, for everybody. What are you looking forward to? What did you see in the game in the summer that helped you learn a little bit about the passion of the game and the rival? Thanks.
Yeah, I remember in the Nations League, the atmosphere of the game and the environment and just the intensity of the game showed how much of a big game it is for us and how well we want to do in these games. So yeah, we're gonna go out there and try to do our best and try and get a win.
Next will be Arch Bell.
Thanks, Michael. Thank you, Yunus. Yunus, this is kind of a golden era for U.S. players playing in Spain. Never before have there been so many U.S. players playing in La Liga. In these national team camps, do you look around and do you see some of your teammates, some of the guys, and say, "Oh man, he would be really good playing for a top club in La Liga or just playing in Spanish football"? Who would be some of those guys you think that would fit in that don't play in Spanish football that you think that would do really well playing in a league like La Liga?
Yeah, I think everybody has a chance to play in La Liga, just like they have a chance to play in other leagues. We have so many players with great talents and great attributes, and they all have the potential to play in the big leagues in Europe. Not just in La Liga. So yeah, I think everybody is good enough, really.
We'll go to Claudio Villalobos.
Thank you, Michael. Yunus, obviamente México viene de perder 2 finales con los Estados Unidos en the Nations Cup and the Gold Cup. Eso significa que México ahora más que nunca quisiera una victoria. No es que antes no la quiso. Pero, ¿cuál es tu opinión con respecto a la diferencia que hay o que podría haber, si es que hay alguna, entre jugar 2 finales como esas y el partido por la clasificación al Mundial de este viernes?
Sí, para mí tenemos que olvidar que hemos ganado 2 partidos anteriores contra ellos y tenemos que afrontar este partido como otra final. Sí, tenemos que afrontar este partido como otra final porque, como has dicho, el México va a venir con mucho hambre, muchas ganas de ganar contra nosotros y nosotros tenemos que tener más ganas que ellos.
We'll go to Brian Sheretta from American Soccer Now.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Yunus. Question for you is, you seem to be playing more centrally now for Valencia than you did last season. How much does that help in your development and get you in the rhythm for these games? And then also, can you just comment on being a young member on a very, very young team about what it's like playing with Ricardo Pepi and Gianluca Buzio and yourself and players of your age?
Yeah, for Valencia, I've been playing more central sometimes when I come on, and definitely helps, when I come here to get used to being in those central roles. And for my development as well, it's been great playing in different positions, seeing the different perspectives of the game. And in the national team, playing with young players that, I've played against Buzio with England before, and played with Pepe, and we're at similar ages playing in a men's team, It's really exciting seeing the things we can do on the pitch. And we have so much learning to do. We're going to make so many mistakes. And I think if we keep working hard, keep focusing, we can go a long way.
Next will be Pilar Perez from ESPN.
Thank you, Michael. Hola, Yunus. ¿Qué tanta presión siente el equipo después de haber conseguido ganar esos 2 torneos en el verano al llegar a este partido, sabiendo que en ese momento se hablaba mucho de que eran 2 selecciones distintas y aún así consiguieron los 2 torneos? ¿Cómo están en cuanto a la presión?
Sí, nosotros estamos afrontando el partido pensando en que el México va a venir con muchas ganas de ganar contra nosotros, porque hemos ganado 2 finales, pero también tenemos que olvidar que esos eran otros partidos y eso es una partida de cualificatoria para el Mundial y tenemos que afrontarlo así y tenemos que solo pensar que tenemos que ganar y conseguir los 3 puntos.
Next will be Charlie Bohm from MLS Soccer.
Hi, Yunus. Thanks for speaking today. We've heard your teammates talk about the desire to press Mexico this week, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that and maybe the tactical approach in general, because you guys have played them in different ways in these previous matches. And I wonder if you think you need the ball to win this game, or if you can kind of be reactive and stifle what they want to do.
Yeah, I think the game is going to be really intense. It's going to be hectic. Both teams want to really play well. It's going to be, it's a derby, and we want to really win the game. So I think the games are going to be really hectic, and we're just going to try and keep the ball as much as possible, and obviously have to score goals as well.
Next will be Ron Blum from the Associated Press.
Yunus, the last month with not as much playing time, what have you been doing to maintain sharpness? And is the sharpness the same as where you were a month ago?
Yeah, I haven't been playing that much for Valencia. So in training, I've been working really hard to try and show the coach that I can play. And I think it starts from training. You need to perform well in training before you can go out and do it on the pitch. So I'm always ready to compete, and hopefully I get the opportunity to do it this week as well here with the US.
Next will be Ivan Skolarsep from SPI Soccer.
Yunus, I wanted to ask you about the partnership in midfield with Weston and with Tyler. What's it been like working with them and developing that relationship with them? What have they kind of taught you just in this short time that you've played together? And the matchup against Mexico in midfield is going to be obviously one of the keys of this match. What do you see when you look at that midfield that Mexico has and that battle? How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, I look up to Tyler and Weston. They've been in the national team for longer than me. They've been in the game for longer than I have, and I try and take things from them. And they're really great players playing in the Champions League week in, week out. And I want to be doing that soon one day. And I hope that, I need to learn from them to be able to do what they're doing. So I'm trying to just follow their footpath.
Next will be Orlando Castellano.
Gracias. Buenas tardes, Pato. Buenas tardes, Yunus. Orlando Castellano, Servicio Informativo de Deportes en la Ciudad de México. Preguntarte 2 preguntas. La primera sería, ¿qué tan complicado va a ser este equipo mexicano hoy en día? Que ya lo mencionabas hace rato, que va a ser diferente a lo que enfrentaron en lo que fue la Liga de Naciones y la Copa Oro. Pero ¿qué tan difícil puede ser hoy lo que puedes ver en esta selección mexicana? Y la segunda sería, ¿qué hay que cuidar de este equipo mexicano, de lo que has visto en esta eliminatoria, para que ustedes puedan llevarse los 3 puntos y alcanzar a ellos en la parte alta de la tabla?
Sí, son jugadores muy, muy buenos, son un equipo muy bueno con mucha experiencia, y tenemos que afrontar el partido sabiendo eso y ir al partido con la máxima ilusión y la máxima... tenemos que estar muy metidos en el partido porque son muy buenos jugadores y tenemos que tener cuidado, pero también tenemos que tener confianza que nosotros también somos buenos y podemos ganar el partido.
The last question goes to Ryan Talmadge from Goal.com.
Hey, Yunus, you talked about your role at Valencia a little bit, but also you've been used as a substitute recently, and that's a different mindset. You're coming into a game with 30 minutes left saying you have to change something. And you look at this past weekend against Atletico Madrid, and that's exactly what happened. You guys come back from I think it was 3-1 down, and you come back to make it 3-3. Coming into this camp, especially in a result like that, does that kind of help you, coming back and having that type of performance and knowing that you could be a substitute in this camp? What are some of the things you've learned about how to approach the game if that's what you have to do?
Yeah, sometimes being a substitute isn't so bad because you can help the team when you come on and help out the tired legs, give fresh legs when you come on. And as you said, an Atletico game, that's what I try to do. And even if it happens in this camp, I'm ready to help the team in whatever way I can.
Thank you, Yunus, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining today. Tomorrow's media availability will begin at 2:30 p.m.